What was once a lucrative trade relationship worth billions of dollars has all but dried up. Turkish products, which were once prized in Saudi Arabia, hit a record low in March. A 93% drop from the previous year meant that only $19 million in Turkish exports made it to Saudi consumers. The unofficial boycott by Saudi businesses and retailers against Turkey started last year amid a series of diplomatic spats between the two countries. After witnessing steep declines across multiple sectors for several months, Turkey raised the issue at a recent World Trade Organization meeting in Geneva. But it's still not clear how long a resolution will take. Relations between Turkey and Saudi Arabia have been strained for several years over a series of diplomatic disputes. But the recent end of the Qatar blockade created an opening which both countries have welcomed. So, is this unofficial trade war here to stay, or can a resolution be found to restore what was once a prosperous relationship? And to answer that, from Istanbul, I'm joined by Vehbi Baysan. He is a political analyst and an assistant professor at Ibn Khaldun University. And from Washington, D.C., Giorgio Cafiero. He is the CEO at Gulf State Analytics. Gentlemen, welcome to Straight Talk. It's good to have you on the program. So, Giorgio, could you walk us through the status of two-country relations and where do they stand now?
Well, it's no secret that in the post-Arab Spring period, there's quite a bit of tension between Saudi Arabia and Turkey. There's definitely a rivalry between these two countries, and Ankara and Riyadh have been on opposing sides of many conflicts throughout the Middle East and North Africa. However, what we began to see last year and what has continued this year are efforts on the part of both the Turkish and Saudi governments to improve diplomatic relations. We can certainly get into why that's the case, but there's definitely a desire on the part of Turkey and Saudi Arabia to improve bilateral relations. However, what we are seeing is the fact that the unofficial Saudi boycott of Turkey has had a big economic impact.
Yes.
And as the diplomatic relations between these two countries improve, this issue of the unofficial boycott is going to be one of the difficult issues that the two countries are going to have to work through as they try to put the relationship on a better track moving forward.
So, maybe how has Qatar's reconciliation with the GCC impacted and added actually impetus to Turkey's relations with regional countries, especially with Saudi Arabia?
Actually, even before Arab Spring, we should say that Saudi Arabia and Turkey were two leading actors in the region in terms of economic development. And of course, it was a great market for Turkish companies because Turkish products were daily traveling in the region. I remember in Amman seeing daily yogurt because it was all facilitated and eased the borders, etc. But with the Arab Spring, and especially with the Khashoggi case, it seems it really deteriorated. But the good sign is that in the last year or so, we see that prominent Saudi investors coming to Turkey, especially in the eastern part of Turkey. For example, in Erzurum, they are investing for animal products, etc. So these are good signs. It seems it is now, even including with the Gulf states, at the diplomatic arena, it is getting and improving, getting better and improving. So I think it needs a bit of a push to, despite the disagreement for regional politics, there is a desire to cooperate more and actually invest more.
So, Giorgio, what are the possible ways to overcome this rift? Could the current rifts, for example, be overcome by defense sales?
Yes, that is definitely a possibility, in my opinion. As we've seen throughout conflict in Syria, Libya, also the Karabakh War of 2020, there's no denying the fact that Turkey is a drone power in the Middle East and a drone power in the world. And the Saudi interest in Turkish drones, I think, is really important, and that could possibly sort of make up for some of the economic pain which has resulted from the unofficial Saudi boycott. But to answer your question, what can be done to sort of move past these issues? As you ask and as you suggest, cooperation and sales in the defense sector could contribute to that. But I think there's going to have to be real frank discussions between Saudi and Turkish officials, and there is going to have to be some dialogue in order to resolve these issues through constructive talks.
So, Vehbi, why would Turkey sell defense systems to almost a hostile country whose involvement in Yemen, Libya, Syria, and unwarranted boycott of Turkish products drew harsh criticism from Ankara?
Well, as I said, the countries often disagree on policies, regional policies, but they meet, their interests meet in certain different areas. Now we have a new era in the Middle East, especially last August, the UAE signed an agreement with Israel. And, Saudi Arabia did not sign, but you can see that they are supporting it. And we can assume in the near future, they will be also signing that agreement. Now, Turkey is a regional actor. Now, defense sector is growing more and more. But at the same time, these two countries can build peace in the region. I know there are criticisms about that, but if these arms sales actually can be used for establishing and securing peace in the Middle East, that would be ideal. Obviously, no one can, what's going on in Yemen, support internationally. And also it seems that there is an out the crisis there in Yemeni territories. And so therefore, I don't see any reason. I mean, Saudi Arabia supplementing their arms and other ammunition, whatever the heavy weaponry from Turkey. It seems international market works this way as well. We see it when their dealings with the US, the same thing, and European Union as well.
Yeah,
so I think Turkey in that regard is not doing something so different.
So it would be more of a transactional relation, as I see. So, Georgia, there has recently been a contact between President Erdogan and King Salman. Is MBS taking the back seat and to have his father, the king, to bridge differences with Turkey?
I definitely think there is something to that in the picture. We all know that President Erdogan and the King of Saudi Arabia have a very respectful relationship. And even at times when tensions rose between Ankara and Riyadh, the relationship between President Erdogan and King Salman was always a good one. However, we have to, of course, consider the future when King Salman will no longer be on the throne. And we have every reason to assume that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, who is not exactly on the best terms with the Saudi government, when he, is not on the best terms with the Turkish government, when he becomes the next ruler of Saudi Arabia, that is going to definitely create some challenges for the relationship between Turkey and Saudi Arabia.
So, Vehbi, how has the Biden administration's policies started changing the political outlook in the region, and what's in it for the U.S. to see Turkey and Saudi Arabia get along?
Well, U.S. Under Trump administration sort of refrained from fully and directly involving this. Remember that Trump was asking, where did this $8 trillion money we gave to Iraq, where did it go? I mean, we still have a failed state there. So this was a criticism. So it seems Biden, in being very carefully establishing their policy in the region, at least for a year or so, they don't want to see any conflict. So I think they welcome any close ties, relations with between Turkey and Saudi Arabia. But having said that, as the colleague mentioned here, after King Salman's departure and if the MBS takes over what happened, yes, there are doubts and there are challenges. Having said that, I personally think that Mohammed bin Salman is a pragmatic person. And once he is on the, let's say, a steering wheel, he will, do the necessary steps and establish better relations with Turkey. Of course, this is just my hopeful or wishful thinking about the region, but the key actor will be Biden administration. Biden administration's problem currently is that their Middle East expert or the policy makers seems to be working behind scenes, and we don't know what direction they're going to take. For example, with Iran, there are signs they will have better relations, but we will wait and see.
So, Giorgio, where does trust between the two countries need to be reestablished most?
Well, first of all, let me say that the Al-Ula Accord from January is very positive and bodes well for the future of relations between Turkey and Saudi Arabia. The support that Ankara gave to Doha when the Saudi and Emirati-led blockade was going on contributed quite a bit to the tensions between Turkey and the blockading countries. Now that that issue is resolved, there's real opportunity to improve ties between Ankara and Riyadh. But to answer your question, what is the area that needs to improve relations most? There still are quite a number of files in the region where they disagree. We got Libya, we have Horn of Africa. Arguably, Yemen has become a little bit of a source of tension between Turkey and Saudi Arabia. I also think different interests in Syria could also fuel some continued friction between the two countries. So there's definitely a whole host of issues that are complicated, are very sensitive, and will require more dialogue between the Turkish and Saudi leadership.
All right, gentlemen, unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you very much for joining us on Straight Talk.